YouTube again. Got a special guest with me. I'm super excited to have this person with me. This is Mr. William Jackson. He's a true blessing to me. We'll get more into it so you'll know why. But this is more iron sharpening iron. It's just a place where we can come together and we can talk to one another, trying to sharpen our skills, especially with those small content creators. William Jackson is a small content creator, not only in the YouTube world, but in the Instagram world. So let's welcome William Jackson. William, how you doing?
Good, how you doing? Thanks, Big Jack.
Hey, doing well. So you're more than welcome. More than welcome. So the people know who you are. I know who you are, but I want the people to know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. My name is William Jackson, everybody. I grew up in a small town in West Virginia. The town has no stoplights, only stop signs. So you can only imagine how that is. I've been in sports my whole life. My parents put me in sports and I fell in love with it from there. Grew up in the church. My parents always instilled that into me. And then when I went to college, I went to West Virginia State first to play football. Then I transferred to West Virginia University to finish up college, and now I've been in strength and conditioning since then.
Okay, so you're in strength and conditioning.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I'm not sure if you can see if there's people commenting. Can you see the comments in there now?
Yeah, yeah, I can
Okay,
see.
all right. So we got Nancy Green. Hello, Nancy. How you doing? And got Vibing with VC. That's another one. So Nancy Green is a small content creator. She was the first person to ever go side by side with me. So I want to make sure say hello to Nancy Green. Vibing with VC is her whole channel is about the journey in Jamaica. So you
Yeah,
might be able to relate to her. Maybe I don't know. Could you relate to her?
yeah. I just actually recently went to Jamaica. I went to Montego Bay with my girlfriend.
All right, well that's good. That's what's up. So vibing with VC would she would be that person that if you knew about it, you'd um, be able to talk with and all. So but anyway, Nancy and Vibing, thank you for down there and thank you for putting in the comments. I see people now coming in. So you told us a little bit about yourself. You say you're into strength and conditioning. So how did you get into coaching, strength and conditioning, or is it called strength and conditioning?
Yeah, I'm actually a sports performance coach, but the world is strength and conditioning. They're pretty much the same. Uh, I got into coaching. I've been on the sideline pretty much my whole life. My dad was a coach, my uncle's coach, and so I've been in that world my whole life. Uh, I was a water boy helping out my dad when he was coaching semi-pro, coaching baseball, and then me playing sports my entire life. I fell in love with that, and I knew I wanted to be a coach. So this is my real passion.
All right, well that's nice. That's nice. So um okay, having the sports background, so I'm gonna take it you played sports. So what was the sports that you played?
Yeah, I played football, I ran track, basketball, baseball. Uh, I guess band would count now. They throw band in there. So I did it. I tried to do it all and play as many sports as I could.
Okay, well, that's good. And I apologize for the dog barking in the
No
background if you
problem.
heard it. So there's nothing I can do about that. When she snaps off, she just snaps off. So it's beautiful labs. I got what they call them fur babies. So if you got fur babies, you know what I'm talking about. Anyone out there? But that's cool. That is cool. Um, so now have you coached anywhere? What level do you coach? What's your levels?
Yeah, currently I'm at Tennessee State University, which is FCS Division One FCS Division One. So to people that don't know the different levels, you have FBS and FCS. So your FBS schools are your Power Fives and your Group of Five schools who are still playing in the bowl games that y'all probably are watching and are in the college playoffs that you see advertised a lot. So FCS is your smaller schools, and that's like your HBCUs, your Ivy League schools. You know, some of those smaller schools that are out there, and you'll see them play on TV more now, since a lot of people are trying to just get out have more access to sports. But that's where I'm at now. Before that, going to my journey way back in 2017, I started at Fairmont State University, which was a Division II school in West Virginia. It was about 25 minutes away from Morgantown, where I went to school at. I was working with football there during the summer and during the fall season, and that's when I really got into. That's when I found out that strength and conditioning was a real job. I just thought a football coach ran the weight room, but at Fairmont, they actually had a strength and conditioning coach, and he ran only football. And that's when I got my first taste of what strength and conditioning was. From there, I went to Robert Morris as an apprentice, working under Coach Day. Shout out to him. He gave me my first opportunity to see what the job was really like. I worked with football, lacrosse, soccer, basketball, volleyball, all types of sports there. And it was a great experience just to see how each sport trained differently, but it was all kind of similar in a way. And then my next stop was I was a graduate assistant at Howard Payne University. Shout out to Coach Gill. He gave me my first opportunity to actually run my own teams. So it was only two of us there. It was him and me. I was the first graduate assistant at the school ever in school history. So that was fun being able to instill that culture into that program. And I was able to run 6 teams out of the 12 teams that we had.
Mm.
So I got a lot of experience there. Then I came back to Robert Morris, and that's when I met a man named Scott Holsopple, who was running men's basketball there. And then I ended up at Tennessee State University through that connection.
Okay, wow. That's an amazing ride. I mean, this is telling me, I mean, as you're telling me all the different places you've been and coached and even experiences. So what I'm hearing is that you can actually be a strength and conditioning, but you have different sports. I guess all the athletes need someone to condition them. So you have to be well rounded in what a person that's playing, like you said, lacrosse might need something different than a person playing football or basketball. Is that am I right or am I in the ballpark? Maybe.
Yes, sir. Yeah. It's for at the most part, most of the strength movements are always the same. We have seven main movements that they do: squat, hinge, press, push, carry, and core work. So everybody does that. But as far as going to more sports specific stuff, your lacrosse, you just kind of watch the sport and see how they move. So it's a lot of change of direction, a lot of quick burst, sprint stuff. So once you get on the field, you start to add that stuff into their program, and then you start to look at the body and how it moves. So if somebody's doing more lateral quickness, then you need to train that muscle group more than you would a different muscle group. So that's how you start to change your programming around.
Wow, it's funny because you're saying it like that, and I'm more thinking as you're talking, like we all are different content creators here, and it's more like whatever's needed is the niche we throw in or the different material we put out based off of the content that we're expressing or the people we're trying to reach, the different genres out there. We want to make sure that we able to hit those different areas. So
Yeah.
that's amazing the way you're describing it. It's like okay, all right. So if I'm a lacrosse player I need this, but if I'm a basketball player, I might need this, and a football player will need, certain. So that's good. I know you might know, and those who don't know, I did play a little bit of sports in my life, so just a little bit. So, and I do recall having coaches specialize in certain things, but because I didn't have to go through the other workouts with the other sports. I didn't see how different they were. You would think everybody just like you say, they got those cores, the same core. But I know that if track was coming in there, they wouldn't be putting 700 pounds on a squat bench or whatever, trying to squat 700 if they're running track. So it's a little bit different. Uh, Different build up or different exercise or workout for the different positions or different sports that a person is playing. So that's pretty cool. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that with me for sure. So now, did you have to go to school to learn what you knew so you could be a coach, or is it trial by error? How did that work?
Yeah. So for our company, we have two: the CSCS and the CSCCA. you now have to have a bachelor's degree in exercise science or in, like physical education or something like that to get your certification. So yeah, you had to go to school for that. I went to school for that. Uh, I met a lot of good people in that field that are professors, and that's how I really learned. Like, okay, this is a lot of science into. It's not just yelling and screaming and lift more, push more. It's a lot more science into what we do. And as you get your certifications, you do continuing education. So we're always continue to grow and learn from everybody around the world.
Right, that's what's up. So I want to make sure we acknowledge the people that's down in the comments. I see again Nancy Green's down there, and one of the comments she made was that that's whole science, and that's a whole science. So it is. It's a whole science to going because it's not just even in the work in the weight room. I'm sure you have to talk to them about their diet and making sure they eat the right thing, the sleep, and all the other activities that go to making sure that the body stays well maintained and ready to go and perform. So, and then I know we got Paul McKnight in there. So, Paul's out there. So, hello, Paul. How you doing? And thanks for
Hey, Paul.
tuning in. And then, of course, I know Vibing with VC, and her whole thing was wow, lovely Montego Bay. Am I saying it wrong? Say it right. Montego Bay. Did I say it
Montego
right?
Bay.
Montego
Yep.
Bay. Okay. That's where she's from. So that's what she was saying. She's
Oh,
from
hold
that
on.
area. So you probably ate dinner right next to her. Didn't even know who she was, but it's okay. But now
Yeah.
that you know, when you get a chance, that Vibing with VC is down there in the Jamaica area. And so if you ever go back, and I know from talking with you that there was something that you said you have to make a trip out there. So that's going to have to be on one
Yeah,
of
I
our
definitely got to
lists
go back.
to get out there. That's going to be on one of our lists to get out there for sure. To visit the whole island of Jamaica. So I'm looking forward to it. I learned something the other day because I didn't know that they had a Boxing Day. So
Oh
Jamaica
yeah.
has Boxing Day, and I didn't know that. So I was like, wow. So that was definitely something different for me to hear that because I remember being in London and we were there for Boxing Day, but didn't know that other
Mhm.
people celebrate. I thought it was more specific to them. So thank you for sure, Vibing, for help opening my eyes to that and helping me. Get a little bit more knowledge as I go on. So you're never too old. And say I'm never too old to learn new things. So here we go, and I'm learning new things. So thank you there. So
Yeah.
William Jackson, and then is that what people call you, or have you had other nicknames, anything while we're just talking?
Yeah. When I was in high school, they used to call me the Thrill.
The Thrill. Okay, all
Will the
right.
Thrill
So
was my
well, it's
nickname.
Will the Thrill. Okay, so
Yeah,
Will the
most
Thrill.
people call me Coach Will, Coach Jackson, Coach Jack,
So how
whichever
does
one
it
they
how
prefer.
does it feel to be called coach? I mean, is that different? I know when you're on the field and you're playing, you always calling someone else coach. But and even when you're a coach, you call people coach. But to have players come in and they're calling you coach, how does that feel?
It's an honor, really. It's like being a doctor, kind of in a way. You kind of earn it that title behind your name because some people will call me Mister, and I'm like, don't call me Mister. That kind of makes me sound, well, call me Coach. And
Gotcha.
it just goes with the whole persona that you have when you put your coaching hat on and you're in that area of on the field or on the court or in the weight room. It's like, all right, you know who I am.
Mhm.
This is my room. This is my space. So that name and that title goes with it.
That's cool. That's cool. I remember when I was in school, one of the coaches, because made the mistake by calling the coach by his name. Matter of fact, his first name, last name, and he was like, "Until you graduate, you cannot call me by I'm Coach blah 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 until you graduate." So I'm like, "All right, I will never make that mistake again. You will be Coach." So and so until I graduate. So that
Yeah,
was, and it is that's the respect that you've earned it. So you've earned it to the point that it's like, hey, if you want to call me by my name, you graduate school, and that's a good thing because that coach is not just performance on the field. They were pushing performance in the classroom because
Yep.
that's needed as well. And that's another part of, I know it was pushed into you that you're not just an athlete, that's a student. You're a student that's an athlete. So that's one of the things that I would try to get across to anybody that, make sure that you get your schoolwork done so that you can play, not so much so you can play, so you can go to school. Because I'm asking now, when you went to college, did you go to college on an athletic scholarship or how was that?
I did not go on an athletic scholarship. I was a walk on, but however, I had academic scholarships. I
Okay.
had HISTA, which was Health Science Technology Academy that I went through high school, and it paid for my tuition to any public school in West Virginia. So that's kind of why I stayed in West Virginia. And then I had a few other scholarships that I earned just by having my academics holding myself to a high standard, and my parents hold me to that high standard.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Now, so I'm hearing that they called you the thrill. So that means that you had to be doing something, or either you was really bad and they would just say you're no thrill, or you're really, really good and you are a thrill. So sports was there, but at the same time you hit the book, so that's really good to hear. I'm super
Yep.
excited about that part of it because so many people miss that. So not turning away from you, I'm just one of those things they were saying, like with the new Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter.
Uh,
Not only is he good on the field, but he also has a 4.0 GPA.
yeah.
So I mean, to be an academic All-American and a Heisman Trophy winner, that's the total package, and you really don't see that a lot. You don't hear it a lot, but they're out there. There's still some students out there who are they're hitting those books really hard, and it is difficult.
Mhm.
So I don't know if you can explain a little bit how hard it is for a player to, or what do they go through? What's the experience of a player as far as the working out, the practice, and still have to be a student? Can you explain just a little bit of that, please?
Yeah. So now, if you're in the FBS world, which is that high level football, you're more structured because they have so many resources around you that it's harder to fail in that level now because everybody's pouring money into the program. So usually your schedule starts with probably weights, and then you have practice in the evening or practice in the morning, whichever one. Depends on the school. And then you're gonna have study hall. You're gonna have meals ready to go for you to pick up either after weights or in the middle of the day, throughout the day. So you have a structured schedule, morning practice, weights, study hall, class, eat, sleep, repeat, all the way down. On our level, it's a little bit different because we don't have as many resources. So we still have study hall, but our study hall is get 10 hours in this week. So we have no real control. You just got to make sure you get 10 hours in. We don't have a nutritionist on campus. So we hope they get 3 meals a day. We try to get on one with not really a meal, but with protein shakes. So we try to bridge the gap between weights with the protein shake as they go to class and then they go eat finally. And then also, weights and practice. So we changed from morning to evening. So from 2 to 5, we knew like there would be no class. We knew where they were going to be meetings, practice, and then we had weights in the morning, 6, 8, and 10. So they just had to get into one of those groups to get their weights in. So it is a little bit different. It's all over the place a little bit, but we try to get it as structured as possible and keep it the same. So like okay, my morning I have weights, I practice in the evening. So you got to figure out when to get your meals in between class. That makes
All right.
sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Because I experienced that, so I understand. I went to a Division 1 school, top level, top shelf, had
Yeah.
everything, and then I transferred to a smaller school where it was like, find food if you can, find study hall if you can, find a weight if you can. And I remember the big difference. I remember asking myself, why in the heck did I just make this move? Why did I make this change? But at the same time, the I know now why I made the change. I know the benefits and all the stuff that came out of that, but you do there's a big difference. So those programs that have the money that can put pour into those other programs that's needed, because it people don't realize it's a job. It's a full time job for a student
Yeah, yeah,
athlete. They like and a lot of people make the argument where you're on scholarship, so they already, but the scholarship is not free in that sense. I still have to go to work. I still have to get on that field. I got to hit that weight room. I got to keep my grades up. I got to go to every game. I got to perform on the field. I got to, do all of these things in that little bit of time. So you start missing that. You don't realize what you're missing. Like right now, you're saying these players playing still in the bowl games and they play during Thanksgiving. So they play during Christmas. They're going to play during New Year's. So where other people saying, I'm going to celebrate time with my family, they're not home with their family. They're still
yeah.
traveling and going to games and performing and things like that. So it's a lot more to it that a lot of people don't realize that's going into the game, into the game itself. Not only did you have to get up in the morning, you had to go to practice. Then after practice, you had to go to meetings and watch the film and all of that. And you, like you say, you get your meals, but then you still had homework. You still had to been in class.
No,
You still
yeah,
had to do all of that stuff had to get done at the same time as as trying to be a student. And you're talking about 18, 19, 20-year old who's still trying to figure out who they are.
yeah.
And you said have this discipline and be here on time and do all these things and not find yourself in any kind of trouble or anything like that. So it could be difficult for males and females trying to put all of those pieces together and trying to figure it out. So it's important to have good coaches. It really is important to have good coaches that's going
Mhm.
to not only push you in the direction for what they want, because you have a job. We know your job is to build them up and get them ready to perform on the field, but you should be also, and I'm asking now, are you helping them become good citizens in the world, good adults or things like that? Is that something else that you try to push?
Yeah, I see. Q5 Barnes said it's definitely a year-round sport. So with that question, yeah, we are pushing them to be better men, better husbands, better fathers. Same with the females that we work with, better wives, girlfriends, sisters. Whatever it is, we are because we're with them year round. Like for a football player, they May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December a little bit. Then they come back in January, February, March, April. They get a little bit of break. May, repeat. So we're with them all the time. So they're talking to us about everything, life, uh, how to be. They got relationship problems, how to eat better, how to sleep better, school, whatever may come up, they're mostly talking to us, after weights, before weights, throughout the day. We're with them all the time. So that's why it's important for our role to, you want to be a good coach in that role and also be a good person to help someone else out. You can't live a double life and try to tell somebody else what to do if you're not doing the right thing. So
That right
yeah,
there.
it's it's,
That
it's
right there
very
is what I
important.
wanted to hear. And I'm so happy to hear it because it is so true that a lot of the kids want real talk. They want somebody that's going to be real with them and tell me, hey, if I'm doing wrong, kick me in the pants. If I'm doing right, pat me on the back. But if I come to you, I'm coming to you because I'm trusting in you and I trust and believe that what you're going to tell me is going to put me in the right direction. And like you said, you can't live that double life. You can't so many times we get caught up or we see situations where coaches did the wrong thing and hurt
Mhm.
a lot of people, and it give you a bad name, it gives you a bad sign. I mean, I know we could talk about the Penn State situation and some other Olympic coaches and Olympic trainers and things like that, where
Yeah, yeah,
people are saying they've been and it's just, it bothers you because you put so much trust in the coach. And a matter of fact, like I say, you spend more time with a coach than you do with your own parents, which
hmm,
with your own teachers or whatever, because you're constantly with those different coaches, and it is important that that the coach is real. And so I'm glad that where you are now, you say Tennessee State University, that they have a coach like you, and I know there's other coaches on your staff, not your staff, but you're part of the staff that's they're real good coaches. So I appreciate that. Now, Q5 Barnes, do you know who that is?
No, I don't know that.
Okay, you don't know who that is. I know who that is. But Q5 Barnes is from he went to school with me. He went to college with me and transferred to another college with me. So not only did he go to the D1 school with me, but he transferred to the smaller school with me, West Virginia Tech. But Q5 Barnes, if anyone want to know down there, you see him down there. He is a Hall of Famer from West Virginia Tech University. So he's a Hall of Famer football player
That's too
from
bad
West
on.
Virginia Tech. So I definitely want to give him his hands because he earned it. He put a lot of work in. He's probably one of the, let me say, by me playing on offense and he played on defense, we've had more collisions than anybody in the world. So he has. I'm gonna say I tell everybody this. Here's my little story for him. If you want to know, I made him a Hall of Famer because if he could stop me, there was
Yeah,
nobody else he could get in front of him or whatever that he wasn't going to stop. So if he can stop Big Jack, he can stop anybody. So, but that's we talked about this a lot, and we do on our on other stories. My circle is very small on people I can call friends. Very small, very small. I can count them on 3 fingers. That's how small my circle is. But he has one of those fingers. He knows he does. So if you
yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
who he was, that's who he is. So, but anyway, shout out to him for all that he's doing. And I appreciate him for being here and even watching this show right now. So, and I didn't want to take away from you, but I just wanted to give him his, had to say flowers while I had
yeah. Give him
opportunity.
his
So,
flowers, yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Give him his flowers while you have that. Now, see, Miss Raven is in there. So, hey, Raven, how you doing? And thanks for showing up. Thank you for showing
Hey,
up. So,
Ravenfall.
so, man, so have you had any struggles as a coach? Have you had anything that came up to you that's like, wow,
Woo.
this let us know. Tell us what's going on. If you can, don't throw anybody their secret stories or whatever, but was any struggles that you had as a coach?
Yeah, I mean the journey itself. When I first started, I moved to 4 states in 4 years. So I moved from West Virginia to Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania to Texas, Texas to Pennsylvania, and then Pennsylvania to Tennessee. So the journey beginning was a struggle. I'm glad to be here. I've been here at Tennessee State for 4 years. The pay isn't great. I worked many hours. My first 2 jobs, I made probably 13K. As a GA, didn't make a lot, and then I was kind of a part time assistant, so I didn't make a lot either. And then the hours, you're working 60-hour work weeks during football season. You're working 7 days a week. Long hours because you're going starting in the morning to practice in the evening. So it's just a long day, little breaks in between, and then on top of that, you had to be a guy in the weight room to motivate all the athletes. Because everybody doesn't just come in and say, "Yeah, let's attack weights." Yeah, no, you got guys dragging in, you got females dragging in. It's all over the place. So you have to be the guy that gets everybody going, motivate, and then on top of that, everybody doesn't win all the time. So you have to motivate everybody. If you're having a losing season or a winning season, you still have to motivate everybody. And then, of course, you have starters and guys who don't play. And so, you're trying to keep the whole entire core together as one big group. So, yeah, it's a lot of struggles in this field.
Now, I truly appreciate you even saying it like that because a lot of times when you're a player on the field, you just play. You don't think about the size of the coach, especially at that strength and condition or any of the position coaches. Because, like you said, when it's a winning season, everybody's happy and da da da. But when it's a losing season, like what are we doing this for? It don't work or whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and then like you say, if you're a starter, I just played Saturday. I'm banged up. I need some time to rest. No, you need to get back in that weight room and get ready for next week. And
Next
if
week.
you're not a starter, you need to do more weight so you can become a starter. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of it is a lot of back and forth that a lot of people don't I don't think a lot of people catch it. They don't see it. So thank you. And again, it's both sports or both, not say both sports, but male and female. So the struggle is real on both sides. So
Mhm.
that could be. And now you said you had to go 4 states, so you didn't have to go 4 states. But I guess in the industry that you're in, it's more like if a coach, say the head coach loses their job. So you got the head coach of football. If the head coach lose their job, is that does that how does that affect you? If it doesn't affect you, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the level you're at and the next coach that comes in. So a lot of people follow the head coach in their coaching journey. So if the coach leaves, uh, they'll leave with him, or he'll take them with them. And if the coach gets fired, they'll lose their job because the school is bringing in someone new. But if a lot of people like you and in that school, they'll keep you around, and they might say you're not the problem. The other coach was the problem.
Mm,
And then it depends on the smaller schools, because if you're working with a lot of teams besides just football, a lot of the other coaches will have your back and be like, no, you can't take this guy away from me. We need this guy. So
mm.
if you're ran by football, you know, your contract is kind of like a 4-year deal. So you have to, if you're winning, you're good. You could move up. If you're losing, that 4 years is coming up.
All right, all right. So I'm a this. I know this probably wasn't one of my sales with though, but how did y'all do this year?
We
I'm just
went,
wondering now. Huh?
yeah, we went 9-3 this year.
9-3. That's a pretty good
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
That's a really good season. 9-3. All right.
yeah.
So
Co-champs of the OVC.
huh?
We were co-champs of the OVC.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations for being the co-champ. So that's so now Tennessee State, is that considered a HBCU?
Yes, we are at HBCU, but we're not in the HBCU conference, which is the SWAC. That's what they call it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're in the Ohio Valley Conference.
Got you. Got you. Okay. So you're a HBCU, and what does that mean for those who don't know what HBCU mean? I'm just wondering, can you mention it or tell us what that means?
Yeah, it's a historically black college
Okay,
university.
so university.
Yeah,
Okay, so if you're a historical black college university, but you're not part of the SWAC, you're part of the Ohio Valley Conference. Is that okay? All right,
yeah.
so that's good. So now, would I see you? I'm gonna say, would we see any of your games like on TV or anything like that?
Yes. We usually play on ESPN Plus, and then they started to make the HBCU network. So we do have a couple of those. You might catch us depending on the team that we play. 'Cause we played Notre Dame a couple years ago, and we were on was it NBC? We were on
Yeah, yeah.
NBC, so live. And then not too long ago, we were in the playoffs. We were actually on ESPN too,
Okay, all
so
right.
we
Well,
do
that's
get
what's
some
up.
exposure.
No, that's good. That's good. A lot of times we you hear about places, hear about schools, and you don't get a chance to ever see them. So how does that work for y'all as far as uh prepping to go somewhere when you got to, like I said, you just mentioned in Notre Dame. What's the prep like? What's the keeping everybody together, or I guess the whole package to get ready to go to see a Notre Dame or play a Notre Dame?
Yeah, so Sunday for us is weights plus a practice. Monday is their off day, and then throughout the week we'll get them again. Our starters usually go Tuesday, Thursday, and our non-travel guys will go Wednesday and Friday. So we get them prepped up through there, and then practice every day but Monday to go prepare for Notre Dame or a team, any team really, because we all play all our games on Saturday. So we're prepping throughout the week, making sure we get as many guys healthy that we need to. We'll get some guys double time. So we'll get guys that come in the weights, and then we'll get them during practice. We call it the pit. So if you don't like practice or you're actually really hurt, you'll go to the pit. And guys who don't want to practice, they'll end up back in practice because the pit is really hard.
Mm,
Then
gotcha.
our guys that we that are actually injured, long term injuries, things like that. We'll do some rehab things for them, and then just a lot of strength work since they're going to be
Mhm.
out for a long period of time.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm taking it you travel with the team. You're right there with the players.
Yeah.
Is that for all sports or is it just for football? How does that work?
Travel. We travel football mainly. When I first came to TSU, I was supposed to be football only, and then some things happened that I had to take some other teams over. So yeah, I travel with football every game. I'm pretty much first assistant. So I'm running the warm ups, pregame warm ups that we do. So like when the first group comes out, like quarterbacks, receivers, we'll do a warm up on the field before they go out there and do routes on air. And then the next group's coming out, DBs, tight ends, things like that. So we'll just keep the flow going. And then when we do the big team warm up, we just spread out and coach everybody around.
Mm,
And then
got
after that, Juice Man, I carry around the nose torch. For those who don't know, the nose torch, you smell it and it wakes you up. It's basically like ammonia. And then, get back, coach. Just make
you.
sure we keep the sidelines safe.
Oh, okay. So the get back coach, the one that keeps everybody off the sideline so you don't get the penalty for running out on the field or
Yeah,
being
like,
too
yeah,
close to the field. Okay,
yeah.
that's good. So do you do any other sports? I know you saying football, but I know you work the other sports out, but do you travel or see the other sports, anything like that?
Well, yeah, basketball's in season right now. I train women's basketball, and it's usually pretty easy to see them because football is out of season. So I watch them a lot, and they play back to back. So women play first and men's play second. So it's easy to see them. And then I'll travel with softball a little bit, but we try to make as many home games as we can just to support the athletes and so they can see a familiar face all day.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It sounds it sounds like a really exciting job. I mean, it really does. It sound like it's something that you would want to get into. So, do you have to, I guess, keep your workout up? I mean, a person like me wouldn't be a good strength coach if he's sitting there flopping all over the place. I mean, do you have to work out as well, or do you work out? How does that work?
You don't have to work out, but you kind of want to look the part just so in case you need to demo or you got to show the athletes how to do something. You want to be able to move, bend, and do what you have to do. So a lot of times I'll be like, "Y'all are doing this all wrong. Let me show you," and I'll show them. They'll be like, "Wow!" I say, "Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, yeah."
That's good.
So, but
That's
yeah, you
good.
want to you want to be able to show them how it's supposed to look and if you need to and things like that. And yes, I still work out. I have a lot of younger interns that are with me, and they want to try to show off and things like that. So, but it's fun to get back into it, stay in shape, and we're in the weight room all the day long, so it's just easy access.
Right, right. And I mean, I guess like say if you're right there, it would be foolish not to pick up some way to do something to work out and keep yourself in
Yeah,
shape. That's pretty good. Now, when I played, I was okay. I was decent. I was pretty strong. So yeah, I'm not gonna put myself out there with you, but I'm gonna say, I guess what's your max on the squat? Now I just want to see where you are right now. So you're on the
oh,
squat.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, squat. I was doing 605. I haven't done it recently, but the
Mhm.
last time I did it was 605.
So 605 pounds on the squat. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What was
And I,
yours?
700. So 700 was my best ever. So in competition, 700 was my best on the squat. So there you go. So that was a long time ago. To the point that I remember being in the backyard playing with my youngest son, and he threw a ball to me, and I had to bend over and get it. And he said, "Wow, I didn't know you could bend over." So I'm like, "What?" I didn't know you could bend over. Wait a minute, something wrong here. So, like, wait a minute. So unfortunate that over time, you're right. You don't if you don't put it in there and do those things that you that you can lose it, but I'm glad that you're at that age, and you're in there working out with them, that they're seeing that you can still do it, because that's it's impressive to the students when they can see, okay, wait a minute. If coach can do it, now I'm gonna do it. If coach can do it, I can, because they do, they think they're better than you. They think
Yeah,
they're,
yeah,
yeah, I'm a top athlete, I'm world class, this and that. Like, I've done what you done. I did that. I could squat 700. I've benched over 400. I've done those things. But at the
yeah,
same
exactly.
time, age catches up with caught up with me, and but that here nor there on that. But I just remember because you was mentioning that. So that's I'm trying to see what it says. It was a Q said what? No one's going to out squat. Yeah, that's it. Or bench press, and that was the whole thing. There's people that can, but at the same time, when I was in competition and all that back in the day, and it was good to have at my first school to have a really good strength coach. So he was super good. So with that, he motivated us and got us to that position to want to push the gym out. We wanted to push raise the roof off the gym. That's what we're trying to squat everything and bench everything. We fought for certain awards. Like we had and I was at Virginia Tech, so it was the maroon was one color and orange was a color. Then it was, you
Um,
could get the Hokie Award, then you got the Iron Hokie Award, then you got the Super Iron Hokie Award. So well, we were trying to get the Super Iron Hokie Award, and it just motivated us to keep trying harder and harder to get to a certain area, so that we could say, "Hey, guess what? I achieved this right here in this weight room, and I was able to do those things." So that's very common, or not common, but very similar to what we're doing even in our content creating, because I know a lot of us want to get to the point of being monetized. They want to be able to be monetized, and the more you put out, and you start getting things
yeah,
back and receiving different awards and stuff like that from whatever platform you're on. You could be on TikTok and Instagram, you can be on Facebook or whatever. They all give you some type of award once you hit a certain spot. So we
yeah,
all want to get to that part. We want to get to that part. So, but with that, knowing that you got to put some work in. So,
mhm,
if you don't put any work in, you're not going to get anything out. So unfortunate for a lot of players, they don't see that. They don't understand that part. They think they just going to walk in there and I know Q put down in there Coach Gentry. That was my strength coach at VT. But he would say that you had that beach body. You got that beach workout, arms and chest, forget the rest.
yeah,
And because the fact that up to your waist was going to be in the water in the beach, so nobody had to see what your legs look like. You ain't put no
yeah,
leg work in. All you was worrying about was the upper body. So anyway, so it was cool. It was cool back in the day, and working out and things like that, and having a good coach. But that was the big thing: having a good coach that believed in you, that even push you and had you go to that level of pushing yourself beyond what you even thought you could do yourself. Sometimes you just didn't realize you could do it yourself until someone told you you could do it. Someone motivated you to
yeah,
do it. And even if it's showing me that it can be done, because sometimes you don't see it as it could be done. Like, that's nobody can squat 700 pounds. No, it is possible.
it's possible.
It looks like it's impossible, but it is possible. To have that much weight sitting on a bar and the bar bending, and have someone put their neck underneath that bar and lift it up off and go down and come back up is amazing. It's just amazing to watch it done. And the hype of everybody in the room
Yeah,
cheering for you to get this thing done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that right there is a motivator in itself. And if you can take that from the weight room to the classroom to the field to your life, that everybody's still cheering you on and pumping you up to accomplish that goal. That's what it's all about. That is exactly what it's all about. So I'm excited. I'm excited to have you. So give me an example, if you don't mind. Give me an example of a success story for you. Something that you say, this was my success story, or something like that. If you don't mind.
myself, a success
Honest.
story of myself. Just life itself, honestly. Graduate. I brag about this. I have four brothers, so the only one that can't win is my little brother, who's in middle school. I beat all my brothers to graduate college. I beat them all. I was the first one to graduate, and I'm the second youngest. So that's my brag story.
Third youngest. You're the
Oh yeah,
third
third
youngest.
third
Yeah,
young, third
that's
young.
right. Yeah, you're the third youngest. Yeah, so that is good. And the
Brag
thing
story.
was the motivation, and that's good. That's good. So where did you graduate from?
West Virginia University.
West Virginia. I don't know if you did say, I might have missed it. But so West Virginia University. So you're a mountaineer by
Yeah,
education, as far as okay. All right.
yeah,
That was when I was at Virginia Tech. That was one of our arch rivals right there. West
yeah.
Virginia. Those Mountaineers. They had nothing to do with them. We wasn't nothing to do with them. But that's what's up. Um, so I got a player. So I'm throwing this out there. I know it's hypothetical. It's a player who is a really good athlete and he gets hurt. And
Uh-huh.
it's one of those where um, I'm not gonna say it's over, but it's over. It's one of those, as a coach, what I mean, do y'all have? I know you probably faced that situation, but is it one of those things? How do you handle that? What's some advice or something that you can give someone that's listening now?
Yeah, so we kind of just look at what the injury is. So say someone tore their ACL, so that's a season-ending injury of itself. And we actually had a couple players that did that. The first thing you have to do is grab them and get the mental right, because once your season ends, you kind of just fall into a hole where you don't want to do anything because now you have to prepare for surgery. You're not around your teammates as much, and then life is about to change because now you have that disability now that you can't walk the same. You had to go through a whole process of getting back, and that's a month, months, 6, 7, 8 month process of getting back just to normal. And we're talking about an elite athlete who's just running, jumping, doing whatever they wanted in a crazy ability way. So the mental piece is the first thing you had to do. You had to stay on top of 'em, because with surgeries now, somebody can come back real quick, quicker than before, and even better than they were previously.
Mm,
So helping them mentally, uh, keeping them around their teammates, because a lot of once you get injured, you stop going to meetings because you're not involved in the game plan as much and things like that. But keeping them, come back to practice, make sure you come to weights, because they'll be doing physical therapy and things like that. So their training's a little bit different. But we'll still have our guys come back in, train the upper body, be in the room, because your presence is still needed for your other teammate,
mm,
and be around practice still. Because if you were a starter, or even half important to whatever we were doing and the success, still be around and be a coach now. Now you have to coach your guys up, make sure they're doing the right thing, and then you just keep working to get back to the person you was.
all right. That's what's up. I just want to acknowledge real quick, Miss Do It Yourself. Hello, how you doing? I see you out there. And Patty Step 73 said hello from Germany. So hello, Patty. Thank you for showing up and tuning in and watching with us. I got Mr. William Jackson here, coach from Tennessee State University. He is a strength and conditioning coach there. In fact, he gave me what is it again? Performance science or performance?
Sports performance.
Sports performance. Yeah, I want to make sure I get that right. So sports performance coach at Tennessee State University, and he's our special guest today. So definitely super happy to have you here and to share your knowledge with me. I was an athlete. I played. I was in high school. So I'm in high school in my junior year of high school playing baseball. Um, Hit the ball. I'm running the first base. The ball was overthrown a little bit or whatever. So I break it to second, and it was a close call at second base. I hit the base. The base tears off the peg doesn't come out the ground, so I hit the peg. I hit the
Mm.
peg and I break two vertebrae. I
Oh,
broke my L4 and my L5. So L4 and L5, the last two vertebrae, I break the tips off of them. So I broke the tips
mhm.
off of them. The ball was overthrown, so I pop right up. I run the third. A couple of plays later, I'm home, and now I'm grabbing my back like, man, something don't feel right.
Yeah.
That was an injury that I received playing baseball. 6 months later, on the football field, is when I found out it was broke. We thought it
Mm.
was a bruised muscle all the way up to then. And that because you made the comment of how medicine is now than it was. So this is back in 1988. So I'm going way back in 1988. And so we didn't catch it. We didn't know that it was broke. We went 6 months with a broken back. And I played the rest of the baseball season. And I was up to the fourth game of the football season. I went to summer camps and all of that stuff, working out, getting ready, and
That's
all of those
impressive.
things. I'm out there, I'm humping, I'm doing everything you're supposed to do with a broken back. And then in the fourth game, that's when the break it got so bad that I couldn't even walk. So I
Mm.
thought, so that's why I asked you that question because, and I appreciate how you answered the question. I thought at that moment that that was it. That was no longer. I was never going to play this game again. I can't even use my right leg. They had to relax the nerve so I could use it. They did all kinds of surgery so I can go to college and play and things like that. But it
Mm.
was just one of those where you're right, the mental side of that, because I wasn't a student athlete. I was an athlete that happened to have to go to school because I wasn't trying to hear about that. All I needed was a 2.0. That's all you was getting. I wasn't thinking
Yeah.
about nothing past that. And when the break happened, or when I broke my back, and all of a sudden now it's like, whoa, I waited way too late to start trying to hit the books and get myself ready to be an academic. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life? I mean, you making this. I was making this call at 17 years old. I'm
Yeah.
17 years old. Like, what am I gonna do with my life? Because I got two broken vertebrae, and it was the blessing of all of that was the fact that I was the at that time it's the Washington Redskins. I know now they're the Commanders, but
Mm.
their orthopedic surgeon was the person who diagnosed it. He actually looked at the X-ray that I had. He said, "Oh, this is what it is, and I can fix it." And then he did the surgery. Virginia Tech took a risk on me, and I got a full ride to go play there. And when I went in, it was a strength and conditioning coach because now I had to rehab. That was the whole thing. Now comes the rehab from the surgery once you got in so that you can get on the field. And that's when we call him Iron Mike Gendry, but Iron Mike put the hammer down and say, this is what you got to do to build yourself up so you can get back out
Yeah.
on that field. So your job is that important because you are the one who put me back in the position where I want to be. Your style of
Mm.
coaching, there's position coaches that can tell you what play to run and how what I want you to do, but it's that strength and conditioning coach that takes you from being that little scrawny boy in high school to being that muscle mania on the field and knocking people's heads off and all. It's that's where. So I definitely want to applaud you for the position that you're in on the field because it's definitely needed. Because without the strength and the conditioning, no one will be able to play. No one will be able to play if they were out of shape. You couldn't run up and down the court. You wouldn't be able to run around the field. You wouldn't be able to do any of those things if you didn't have the discipline to work out and do what you got to do, get the cardio up, get the muscles up, get all that stuff in either diet, exercise, all that's in your wheelhouse. You you have a lot to do with the player that's on the field that we get to watch and see. So I definitely want to applaud you on that right now. So again, if they haven't said thank you at Tennessee State, and I'm sure they probably do, but if they haven't, I'm gonna say thank you for them because you do a wonderful job.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And we do have some people like they be like, "Thanks, Coach Will," after weights all the time, and you don't really think about it. You just pushing the guy through the workout, through training. Make sure you're doing the right thing, doing it right. But down deep inside them, it's like they want to be here, and you want to make it a place, that weight room. To Yeah, I enjoy coming in here because these guys really care about that person, and that's the biggest things that we try to do is show them that we really truly care about you more than just an athlete, but as a person.
Yeah, and this is up. This is up. So I want to become a sports performance coach.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for me?
It's funny that you asked that because one of the interns asked my boss, who's been in the game for about 28 years, uh, what should I do? And he said, don't.
Oh wow! Wait a minute.
He said,
Okay.
don't. And he said, a reason why is because it's hard. It's real hard life. You know, if you have a family, you're going to be away from your family most of the year. The hours are bad, the pay is low, and you're going to have to grind a lot. So if you don't really have a passion for this field, don't get into it.
Mm,
But if you do have a passion, you know, go learn from guys like Iron Mike Gentry, the old school guys who are going to really show you how to train the athletes to build them into a better person, a better athlete, and then find places that you actually love to be at. Don't just try to chase logos, don't try to go to Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, stuff, pick places like that just because they have a high name. Go to places that will actually allow you to grow as a coach. And then you can end up at those places if that's where you want to be. But there's a ton of schools where you can have a successful career at and enjoy life itself.
all right, that's good advice, and I appreciate that because I'm thinking, that's the you maybe the high level is to get to those higher places. I want to coach the NFL. I want to do something like that. But you're right. You got to put in the work. You got to start somewhere. Start at the beginning. That's us again. The content creators that's out there. It's like the first part of getting started is getting started. So you got
Yeah.
to get started, and then don't go in there expecting to be at the top right away. You gotta put in some work. You got to put in some work, build a good foundation, become a real coach, learn some things, you have some growing pains, and then make it to the next level, make it to that next level, and go up. So with that being said, I know you're at Tennessee State University. Is that your end game, or is it not throwing nobody under, like I'm saying, but we all have to
Mhm.
have goals. We all got goals. One day in my life I want to be this or that. So is Tennessee State where you're good, or you're just saying, hey, excuse me, I want to go to, I want to be at the Ohio State, or I want to be at the Tennessee Titans, I want to be at the NFL level.
No, Tennessee State's not my end game. I do want to experience, the Power Five conferences. I don't really have a preference of school. Probably try to stay down south where it's warm. That way I can have all the nice weather year round. But definitely want to experience that just because of uh, how much growth is going into the game now, and seeing that high level of athletes being around those type of people. Um, I think I want to stay collegiate rather than go to the NFL just because of the type of athlete that you get. Everybody's not making those big NIL deals, so continue to still have to push the person, the walk on, the non travel players, the players like that who still need somebody to push them to make it to the next level. It That's what I like about the college level. But I don't really have a preference of where to be at because I coached on every level: D3, D2, D1. I even did a little bit of high school when I was in college. So just spreading the love and wherever God wants me to go, that's where I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's good. That's a good plan. It sounds good. It sounds legit. So, um, wow, that it's. I try to stay. This has been a good conversation. I really enjoy sitting here talking with you. I don't want to take up all your time. I know that your time is valuable, and I appreciate you even sharing even this little bit of time with me. Um, I'm gonna turn it over to you if there's something that you would like to say to just the people that's been watching us all this time, and if there's anything that you would like to put out there. I'm a step away as the host and let you have this moment to shine, and if you want to look at it that way. But here you are. It's your time.
Well, I appreciate everybody that showed up and everybody that's going to listen to this. Thank you, Big Jack. I love these series, the Iron Sharpens Iron. We need more people doing this. Keep it going. Thank everybody who's creating content out there. Keep giving us the views of what y'all are doing. Love everybody. Put God first, and everything will go well in your life. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm gonna throw a nugget in there. So if somebody watch this all the way into the 1 hour mark, they're gonna find out this. So you got to watch all the way to the 1 hour mark to find out this. This is my son, if you didn't know. So this this is William Jackson Jr. for those who didn't know. So and now you know Big Jack's real name. So here we go. But anyway, this is my son. So you only way you know this is to get to that 1 hour mark. So you have to watch all the way through to get there. But that is my son. That is my actual son. This is number 3 on the list. This is Junior. And I'm so proud of him. I really am. I'm so proud of him that I had to bring him on here, and he did a very good job of holding back, of not letting loose of who I was. So I appreciate that. So that's a nugget for those who watched all the way through. And Miss Do It Yourself says she knew it. She knew it. She knew it. Yeah, that's my son. So super happy for him. Like you said, he's doing a wonderful job up there. Every time he's every time he's nearby, or I will go out there and watch him. I go and watch the strength and conditioning coach or the sports performance coach on the sideline. Like, who won? I don't even know who won. I was watching my son. He's out there performing. So if you look at my one of my videos, you'll see when I went to the Howard University homecoming,
Yeah,
and I talked about that. That was one of the videos that's down in my channel, and that's where I was saying I went out to support my son, who is one of the coaches there. They did a wonderful job this year. He was there almost with the building of the program from when they got their new coach. So
George.
he's so they got Eddie George. Eddie George is their coach, and he's doing a wonderful job there. I think he got Coach of the Year this year for y'all
Yeah,
conference. Yeah,
yeah,
so that's
President.
awesome. They won the championship this year.
Yeah, rings. Oh, he went away.
I went away. I'm back. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
you
there you
got
go.
some rings. Get some rings on your fingers and things like that. So that's always a blessing. So keep doing your thing. Again, thank you for being a guest on here. I do not know what happened and why I switched and whatever, but now my whole body moved around. But it's okay. We're still here. But keep doing your thing. Keep
Appreciate
staying strong. Keep saying you know uh, faithful to the Lord for sure. You've
it.
never given me any problems in my life, and I appreciate that. You're definitely a good kid. Not a kid, but you're a grown man now. But you were a good kid and a very, very competitive athlete. So watching you do this is not even a surprise to me that you was going to turn out the way you did. So keep doing what you're doing. Thank you for being a guest on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show.
Yeah.
And when we post this, everybody out there, again, thank you for being with us all this time. Everyone who was putting in the comments and all of that, spread the word. Let everybody know that we're doing the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. If anyone wants to be on this show, I'll put the email in the link to send me your contact information so I can drop you the link so that we can team up, and I'm looking forward to do this. The word is now, and I know for sure we're going to have a show on a Sunday and we're going to have a show on a Wednesday. So it's going to be a Wednesday show and a Sunday show, but moving forward. But until next time, I'm going to ask you all to stay blessed, peace, and here's my new thing. How do you eat an elephant? Junior, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. So that's how we got to do with life. We're gonna eat our elephant one bite at a time. Don't look at this big old elephant like how I'm gonna eat this. It's just one bite at a time. And
One
if
bite
you
at a
take
time.
that little bit of lesson, one bite at a time, you can knock out anything. So until next time, talk to you later. Love you, son. I'll talk to you.
Well,
Peace.